Hello and happy October. I am Heather Davis and I am going to be doing your readings for October. I am using the Sparkle and Shine Oracle deck by me. I made the deck and it is one of the decks on the Indigo's app. So I am going to be actually using an app to read the cards for each of the 12 horoscope signs. You can see the app right here. This is terrible reflections. So you can see the app. It's Sparkle and Shine. Go in it, and that's what it looks like inside. And then click on Readings, and allows you 1 card, 3 cards, or 5 cards. You can also check out all the cards that are in the deck. This card is available by Indigo software, and it's available for all devices. And I will have the information for this deck on each of the videos. So you can go and download the deck and do your very own reading with my cards on your own device. So October in general is feeling like a month of change, although the leaves are starting to fall and the year is coming to a close. There's a lot of things that have to be finished with 2021. The energy is still very active right now, very heavy in some places. It can be heavy as far as forcing us into some changes that we may have been putting off for a long time. So some of us may have some stuff coming up from our past, especially right now because we're in Mercury retrograde, always a favorite time of everyone. But it is a wonderful time for facing the challenges, facing the fears, looking at things that we've been putting off, or being forced to look at things from our past that we have tried to hide or tried to bury deep within us or deep in our memories. So although it's not always our favorite time, Mercury retrograde is definitely a really good time for healing and for growing. So I am going to get to each of your readings now, but I hope you all have an amazing October, sending lots of love, and I will see you once again in November. Hey Leo, happy October. Here is your reading. Okay, the situation is control. The challenge is limiting beliefs, and the advice is flow. Okay, when I was meditating on your cards, the overarching situation is control. But, of course, challenge limiting beliefs. So you are being controlled by your limiting beliefs, okay? You are feeling or acting in a way that is very limiting. So whatever your thoughts are about you, about your job, about life in general, maybe how you're living, maybe how you're raising your kids, how you're decorating your house. I don't know. It could be anything, but it's being controlled by something. It's being controlled by either ideals from someone else, ideals that you've put on yourself, maybe ideals that you've learned from society. It could be any number of things, but you're living under this sense of control. You're living kind of in a box. And what you need to do is step out of the flow. Okay, when I say that, step out of the flow, that's just, it's cliche and it's like, really, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, so step out of the flow for you guys. I am saying do something out of the norm, okay? Think about your day-to-day routines. Think about, how you go about living, how you go about your job, how you go about your family life. What expectations do you have for yourself? What expectations do you have for others? Now, something my guides are showing me is it might be helpful to break down every aspect of your life, your family life, your work life, your fun life, the things that bring you passion, the things that you do that you can't stand doing. Break each one of these apart and sit with them, feeling them, listening to your intuition. What aligns? What do you not like? Okay. Feel each sense. So, to give you an example, okay, let's take your job. Yes, a lot of us don't love our jobs. Okay, it is what it is. It's a means to an end. Sit with your job. Do you have any fears that come up? Do you have any resentments that come up? Any jealousies that come up? Jealousy is a great one for thinking about relationships too. How does your relationship make you feel? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel controlled? Do you feel loved? Do you feel limited, like trapped? Sit with each one of these feelings in every aspect of your life and trace those feelings to where something doesn't feel right. Is it an old memory from your childhood? Is it something that you can't explain? These are very important discoveries as you go through this month. Sorry, my phone. Because when you can start to see the reason why you might have the feelings that you do, whether it's tied to a memory, whether it's tied to a trauma, whether it's tied to, an old boyfriend that cheated on you repeatedly and made you feel like crap. We can heal those pieces bit by bit. And you can move away from that controlling feeling or that memory or those feelings controlling you now. Okay? Hopefully I said that to make sense. So the control could be coming from an external source too. It may not necessarily be your limiting beliefs. It could be other people that are trying to control your life based on their limiting beliefs. Okay. And another great time for assessing, does your spouse try to control you? Do your parents still try to control you when you're 40 years old? Do you have people that, even social media? I mean, look at social media. It's just nasty anymore. And do you feel feelings of control from people badgering you or bullying you on social media? Figure out where these things are coming from. Figure out where these feelings, these negative feelings within you derive from, how you're being controlled, how you might be trying to control yourself based on limiting beliefs. And the final card, going back to the going with the flow card, it's telling us to step out of the norm, okay? Step out of the routine that puts you into this control, okay? So maybe, your boss is bullying and at one point you say, no, I'm not going to take this. It's stepping out of your pattern or the flow of control that you're getting, and you're saying, okay, I'm not going to accept this. Sometimes these situations also arise because of karma. We're living out karma from our past lives. And if we continue accepting the same karma and we don't step outside of our comfort zone, we can't break the cycle of karma. Okay? So as I'm sitting here thinking about this, and I'm talking about going with the flow, stepping out of the flow. A lot of times going with the flow is just kind of letting things happen as they happen. And it goes both ways for this. In some cases, yes, we want to kind of go with the flow and not continue to push with what our ideals are. Say we're following our, beliefs that we have to be this and we have to be that. So we tend to push. We don't just go with the flow. But in other situations, we need to step out of the flow of the continuance of us repeating these ideals and break out of the norm and the karmic pattern. I really hope I explained that correctly. It sounded okay in my head and I'm getting it, but if it doesn't make sense, please just comment and I will try to explain it further. But that is your guidance for the month, Leo. It may be challenging in some places. I don't see any major challenges stepping up. We are in Mercury retrograde, of course, so you might have something cropping up from the past to kind of confront you with your ideals or confront you with kind of healing these patterns. But that's all I'm kind of feeling. Nothing that you should worry about. So sending love and try to relax and have a lovely October, and I will see you back here in November.